Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly Knighton and I am here to talk about Just Like Home Child Care Center for Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am a long-time, still current over 10 years employee for Piedmont Hospital. I've worked in numerous departments, starting from sterile supply to the operating room, and now I am in the wonderful labor and deliveries, probably soon to be moved to Piedmont Corporate. So I've definitely had my share of different departments and operations of how they work. I have 4 children myself. And in the beginning, when I had my first child, I had just started at Piedmont Hospital, and I do not have a license. I've never had a license, and it's just how my family circumstances kind of work. So I usually take public transportation, or I have my husband drive me where I need to. So childcare providers has definitely been limited for me in terms of where I can choose, the pricing I can choose, and the hours of operation, due to the fact that sometimes whenever I need my child to be picked up, I may not be off from work. So in the end, our best circumstances was to have an at-home babysitter, something I was not super excited about, because there is a lack of structure, there is a lack of social interaction, and there's just a lack of preparation for pre-K and kindergarten if you have your child in an at-home daycare. Not all the time, but for me, I felt it was definitely so. And that's no credit to the child care provider that you choose in an at-home setting. However, I feel that having a structured school-like setting in a child care center is much more beneficial to the developmental stages of an early childhood, especially with me having 4 children. So at one point, I ended up paying almost $800 every 2 weeks for an at-home babysitter. So I definitely felt like it was so expensive. I was really working just to keep them in childcare, but I needed to stay as an employee to gain the experience that I needed in my career. So I definitely kept at it, and now I don't have to pay that. Thank you. It's very good. But it has prompted me to want to create this child care center for Piedmont Hospital at this time. So just like Home Care Child Care Center, or JLH Center for Piedmont Hospital, it's just like it sounds. It is a quality, safe, nurturing child care environment that you can bring, that is on it is just for the employees, and it's just for their family's needs. So if you have your child and you just want them to be in this great home-like setting, this is the place for you. We have an open policy where you can come and visit your child at any time during the day. There are daily snacks provided. There are credentialed teachers provided. There is a modern and innovative curriculum done on the computer and other electronic devices that are definitely going to help enable children to be prepared for the education setting in this day and age, as well as having a state-of-the-art sort of physical structures with playgrounds and other indoor activities. So it's definitely something that I'm really excited to talk about. I think that it is definitely a beneficial thing for Piedmont Hospital, being that it has over 5,000 employees in Atlanta, Georgia, and that is just one location alone. There are 4 other locations, and hopefully if this business were to be very successful, we could expand to other sister locations and see if that would be successful there. So current problems that I feel like are in childcare that are very prevalent is commute times, gas money, things such of that nature. So even for a 2-parent or single-parent working family, commuting from school to taking your child to their child care provider, and then going to work and then having to come back is very, very stressful. Atlanta has one of the heaviest known traffic times in the entire nation. It is unfortunate, however, it is only going to become more congested. So having a child care provider right next to your employment center is definitely something that is going to be a benefit for both businesses. I think that it'll bring employees into Piedmont Hospital, as well as bring more enrollees into the child care center. So other alternatives that could So I'll tell you a little bit about the company's mission. They definitely, and I do have some notes here, so forgive me. I just want to make sure I hit all the highlighted points. We definitely aim to provide children with a caring and happy environment, something that is going to develop them, such as being in a school-like setting. That way, when they are ready for pre-K, or the older children that are there are definitely ready to be educated and be developmental mature. So the services that we will provide will definitely coincide with the hospital's hourly times or their shift times for a lot of the workers. So we open from 6 a.m. in the morning and we will close at 8 p.m. at night. And we are looking into having some potentially overnight services for additional fees. So it's definitely something that is on the competitive advantage in terms of our other competitors. So I'll get into the financials. We are asking for $2 million from a credible investor, and from that $2 million, you will have 35% ownership into the company. It will definitely procure the Sheffield building that is adjacent to Piedmont Hospital. It will also be for the renovation of that building and for the establishment of the child care center. There will be, right now, we expect the cash flows in this $58 billion industry to be almost $3 million in year 5, and we have a net preset value of over $7 million. And so those numbers are looking okay with the 83% return on assets, and we expect to have a payout to the investors of that $2 million in year 3. So I think they're great numbers for Piedmont Hospital to definitely have additional revenue in, as well as procure a competitive advantage over other hospitals and other child care centers for the employees. So I'll talk a little bit about our main competitors. Of course, there are other hospitals in the Atlanta area that do have an employee-based daycare center, so I feel like those are competitors, but not our direct competitors, because again, those centers are directly for the employees of those hospitals. So we want to establish the same thing for our hospital, being that it's such a prestigious and big hospital in Atlanta. So right now we have a Peachtree Childtown Christian Center. A lot of the centers in Atlanta are definitely based around churches and their spiritual values integrated into how they operate and their services. However, those also play into the hours of operation and why some of them don't do as well, which is why I feel like JLH will have a competitive advantage. So Peachtree Christian Center, they are an amazingly rated Christian center. They're very closely located to Piedmont Hospital. However, they are more costly than Piedmont Hospital would be, and they do not have any part-time enrollment packages. So even if your child requires less than the full-time enrollment, you would still pay full price. So that definitely deters a lot of customers to go to other child care providers. Another competitor is Bright Horizons. It's another big-time child care provider here in Atlanta. They are more costly, they are busier, and they are located near busy train stations, which also might deter some parents, being that it's really loud and things like that. I do have a weighted table that I will edit into a future video in regards to how JLH has also assessed other 3 local competitors outside of the local area to Piedmont Hospital, and how we plan to beat out all of those areas for those child care providers. We plan on being better in pricing, we plan on being better in location, and we plan on being better in our education for the children and the services we provide. So the team that we're going to bring for JLH Center is myself. I would be the general manager, and the only reason that I have not directed myself as the CEO is that I really don't have too much experience in child care center management, but I would like to be the general manager because I am passionate about the needs of the employees. I know how the operations work. I'm very well aware of the state and federal guidelines for child care centers, and I'm very confident in my business and financial skills. So I right now hold a master's in healthcare administration, and I am soon to graduate with my master's in business administration, and so I think those 2 credentials definitely qualify me to be the general manager. We do have a potential CEO and pretty much overall manager of the center, and her name is Nina Balke. She has over 15 years experience in not-for-profit and profit organizations as well as social services. She holds an MBA and has a master's in operations, so she definitely will bring a great bit of management, and her focal point has been child care. So I think that she will bring a great deal of experience and definitely help us structure and make our business successful. An assistant manager will be Angela Andrews. She is a longtime employee and she has over 10 years experience. She now has an associate's in early child care development and she is currently pursuing her BA. Our director of education has yet to be determined. I think that is going to be a pretty lengthy interview experience, just because I know that the education is something that I'm advocating for in this center, and so I think that it will require a little bit more time than what I've had thus far, but we definitely will get one. We do have an advisory board. We have 3 members on the advisory board, myself included, just because of my longtime employment and my passion for this business, including the guru and the primary research done by myself. The other members is Tevin J. Roberts. He is the executive at Head Start for Atlanta, Georgia, or for the state of Georgia. He helps develop child care programs and helps advocate for the management of those centers all over Georgia. And the other person is Tanya Thomas. She is the pre-K director for DeKalb County, which is the county I live in. So I've reached out to her, and their advice will absolutely bring some wonderful advice on how to structure our services and our operations for this child care center. I definitely think them too on the advisory board will bring a lot of skills and experience that need to be for this business to be successful. So you've heard my financials. You have heard what I am trying to do with this business. I look forward to your feedback, and I definitely will have more visuals in the future. And thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.